think the internet has made it easier or harder for people? Because you would think that people are more savvy because there's more images to make things correct at the same time.
That depends on who you ask. If you're a real player, I don't care what you do in life, it doesn't take very long to look somebody in the eye and to know whether they're
that's for sure. But what the internet has done is make information more accessible. And I'll tell you, like, as somebody who's a writer and a researcher, and I appreciate history, I love documents. Documents are awesome. But, you start publishing documents like this on the internet, and I don't do that for the very reason that someone will take Jim
modify
West's
it.
certificate
Cut
and
and
they'll
paste
just change
Photoshop
the name
and modify it.
So I think the internet does make it easier because of that for some of these guys.
That's sort of true.
But that doesn't also make it harder in the sense that more people are communicating, that somebody puts their resume up or their biography up, and then a guy like you is
too.
You're like, hey, I've never heard of this guy. Hey, you're emailing guys like, you ever hear of this guy?
Dude, when I did the first big show, Warriors, there was such a thing on the internet about like, who is this freaking guy? How is he a Green Beret and he's in a TV show? And all these guys who I served with and did that with, like, came to my defense, and then they looked up. But you're right. And also, if you're local, like the old days where there wasn't internet, you could be the hometown.
You mean Jim West days?
You could be the hometown hero.
Well, it's also,
and no one would really call you on it.
It's also how insular the special operations community is in general, and how they ostracize anybody who kind of tries to go public or does something publicly. Oh, Terry, that guy wasn't nothing. Jim wasn't nothing. He didn't do anything. I don't even know who that guy was. Those kind of people come out of the woodwork.
That brings up, I think, a big fault in our community, and I'm wondering if you guys would speak to this because I know how I feel about it. I think one of the guys in Special Forces are the best men in the world for me, best guys I've ever met, and best. But one thing I do think that hurts us, and I've seen it, and it's like, we're pretty clannish.
Yeah, very.
And so, and to the point where like the fifth group guys will just badmouth a seventh group guy.
The fifth group SIF and the third group SIF.
Right, or like I was a 10th group SIF guy, so like we're always like, those guys are fucked up, they're terrible. And even on different teams within the same company.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, it's really bad if you're
like,
on a pig team or Halo Scuba
But that's right, but that's different.
They trust me.
But like I've never got understood, like in a way that I wish guys would be a little smarter on that.
It's because everyone wants to be the biggest and the baddest, so it's kind of like knocking down the guy to your left and right.
But how do you lose that perspective when you graduate with a crowd of guys that have all paid the same dues?
I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes to fifth group. He goes to to me it's a lifelong brotherhood.
Right.
Why?
And it's lifelong. It's not because you went to this 4-week school. It's lifelong.
But it's a natural tribal thing for humans to band with the guys they're with and go, yeah, we're good. Those guys are tools. Those guys are incompetent. No,
I think at a point it might be if it means his team's gonna go on a mission. I don't get it because one of the things that we're geared for is to be deployed.
Yeah.
And to be operational all the time, and we will scrap amongst each other, even backdoor politics to try to get.
Well, one of the big differences generationally, Jim's generation, I think there was a competition for credibility in terms of who had been in combat. And in my generation, everyone had been to combat. I think there's a big difference because of that.
Because some guys in yours maybe didn't after Jim came in, maybe, right?
But has there ever been a time when Special Forces was not deployed somewhere?
They would be deployed somewhere, yeah, absolutely. But to go into war.
And you have to define war. If you're in a firefight with 150 guys or with 3 guys, it's a firefight.
And I think you were one of the exceptional people of that era that you got deployed to these operations in Central.
I got to tell you, Jack's an amazing guy because all of this stuff, that I have. When I second, third time I met Jack, he wanted to vet me. I just said, the best way to do that here, bang. I threw my stuff on the table. He ignored all of this, and he went straight to one document. He goes, 7th Group wasn't represented in Desert Storm. What were you doing there? And I'm like, wow. To this day, that still blows me away that he picked that out.
Well, see, that's back to the internet thing, though, because someone like Jack is going to run into you if you're out there saying this, that, and the other thing about yourself. If it's not true, you said you like documents. You're on the internet. You are the editor-in-chief of SOFREP. Somebody's going to get you nowadays.
Yeah, mine's not out there, but it's definitely true. But the fact that he identified that was pretty amazing.
Oh, well, what's odd is there were very few 7th Group guys in the war.
When I got in there at Desert, they go...
That was like 5th Group. There was 10th Group guys there, too.
Well, they go, seventh group's not represented here. What are you doing here? They didn't even have a job for me on my show.
No one would know that though.
Well, yeah, Jim pulls some strings to get himself sent
I
over
did.
there.
I can't have my brothers in a war that I'm not going to be in.
So before we end this, have you ever confronted anyone for being a fake?
Yeah, a couple times.
I've actually never had someone up in my face, like man to man, claiming to be something like that.
I have.
I have to. I have
So
to.
have you ever like dressed somebody and said, "Look, you are a fake, and I'm going to tell this," and
No, I just grabbed him by the throat.
That's how he does stuff.
That's probably why you shouldn't be a fake then.
That's how he. Well, because you might run into him.